August 6th, 1945. A blinding flash pierces the morning sky over Hiroshima. Within seconds, a city of 350,000 people vanishes beneath a mushroom cloud. 3 days later, another bomb, Nagasaki. The war ends. Japan surrenders. The world enters the atomic age. But what if the story we were told isn't the whole truth? What if the bombs weren't dropped just to end the war, but to send a message to someone else entirely? A message to the Soviet Union. By mid-1945, World War II was ending in Europe. But in the Pacific, Japan fought on, desperate, defiant, and surrounded. The US had conquered island after island, Iwo Jima, Okinawa, each one soaked in blood. More than 12,000 Americans died taking Okinawa. Japanese losses? Over 100,000 soldiers and civilians. Planners feared that invading the Japanese mainland, Operation Downfall, could cost 1 million Allied lives. And perhaps 5 million Japanese. President Harry Truman faced an impossible choice. Fight on and risk unimaginable casualties, or use a weapon the world had never seen before. 3 years earlier, the US had begun the Manhattan Project, a $2 billion top-secret effort to build an atomic bomb. By July 16, 1945, in New Mexico, they succeeded. The Trinity test, a blinding fireball, brighter than the sun. Physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer recalled words from Hindu scripture. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." The weapon worked, beyond their imagination. But not everyone wanted to use it. Inside the Manhattan Project, things went differently. Scientists debated the moral cost. The Franck Report urged a demonstration on an uninhabited area first. Others, like Leo Szilard, pleaded for warning Japan. But history had already begun moving forward. The official reason was simple. Truman claimed the bomb saved lives. By ending the war quickly, he avoided a bloody invasion of Japan. He told the American people, "We have used it in order to shorten the agony of war, in order to save the lives of thousands and thousands of young Americans." For decades, that story became history. The bomb ended the war. It forced Japan's surrender. It was necessary, or was it? By the summer of 1945, Japan was collapsing. American firebombing raids had destroyed 67 cities. Tokyo lay in ruins. Its navy gone. Its economy strangled. Japanese leaders had begun to send peace feelers through the Soviet Union. They hoped Moscow could negotiate surrender terms and preserve the emperor. But the US demanded unconditional surrender, and the Soviets had their own plans. In July 1945, world leaders met at Potsdam. Germany had surrendered. Now, Japan remained. Truman had a secret. The US had tested the atomic bomb. He hinted to Stalin, a new weapon of unusual destructive force. Stalin barely reacted. He already knew through espionage. Allies in war, rivals in vision. Both sought to shape the post-war world. This was the dawn of atomic diplomacy. American officials feared Soviet expansion. They wanted to ensure Japan's surrender before the Soviets entered the war. Historian Gar Alperovitz argued the atomic bomb strengthened US bargaining power. Timing matters. August 6th, Hiroshima. August 8th, Soviet Union declares war on Japan. August 9th, Nagasaki. Japan surrendered, seeing 2 atomic cities and Soviet invasion. For decades, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were credited with Japan's surrender. Historian Tsuyoshi Hasegawa argues the Soviet invasion broke Japan's resolve. Until then, leaders hoped to negotiate via Moscow. When Soviets declared war, hope vanished. Japanese War Minister Anami Korochika said, "Now that the Soviet Union has entered the war, the continuation of the war is impossible." Ward Wilson adds, "The bomb did not end the war. The Soviet invasion did." Truman's administration framed it differently. The bomb ended the war. America's bomb. The first bomb was not just for Japan. It was a message to the Soviet Union. This is what we have, and you do not. James Burns, Truman's Secretary of State, hinted it could make Soviets more manageable in Europe. Timing, targets, and urgency suggest political signaling. The bomb ended World War II, but it also began the Cold War. Within a year, Winston Churchill declared the Iron Curtain had fallen. East and West split. In 1949, the Soviets tested their own bomb. Both sides built thousands of nuclear weapons. The arms race had begun. Humanity now lived under the shadow of annihilation. The debate rages. Truman claimed it saved lives. Critics argue it killed 200,000 civilians. Eisenhower later said he opposed the bomb. Japan was defeated. Admiral Leahy called it barbarous. Others maintain invasion casualties would have been catastrophic. No easy answers exist. Only consequences. The bomb became the ultimate symbol of power. It reshaped foreign policy and fueled the nuclear arms race. Every major Cold War crisis, Berlin, Korea, Cuba, carried the shadow of Hiroshima. Even today, nuclear policy echoes that moment. 70 years later, Hiroshima still burns in memory. The survivors, the Hibakusha, carry scars of body and conscience. Was it justified, or an act of political theatre? Perhaps both. The bomb ended World War II, but it also ended humanity's illusion of safety. It birthed a new age, one where peace depended on the threat of annihilation. Perhaps the real reason the US dropped the bomb was not only to defeat Japan, but to define the world that came after.